Namaskaram to everyone. Welcome to Katha Mandalam Story Saturday yet again. Today I'm revisiting the famous Aesop fable Fox and the Grapes, a story that you all know. You must be wondering, why are you telling it? Well, I'm revisiting is what I said. So you have to listen to the story till the end to see what happens with the fox. Yes, shall we begin? One summer day, the sun was scorching hot, and the hero of our story, Foxrow, was walking. And as he was walking, he kept looking up at the sun and mumbling, saying, "Why are you so hot? What do you get by being like this?" And he would continue to walk. Do you know how all of us suffer? What happiness do you get by this? And every few steps he kept looking at the sun and kept cursing, kept mumbling. And all that mumbling in the sun made him very, very, very thirsty. And he was almost in the outskirts of the jungle now, because he knew that the water hole in the jungle was dried up and he had to get into the village to get some water. Quite a risky thing, but no other option with the modern times. So he slowly started walking, and he knew that very close to the jungle's border there was a vineyard. So he straight went there, but he didn't know whether the grapes would be ready or not, whether they are there or not, because last time when he came there were no grapes, there were only vines and there were only leaves. So he came, he peeped from the fence, and he saw a couple of bunches. They looked green and juicy and yummy. He slowly crossed the fence and tiptoed into the vineyard as close as possible to that bunch. He didn't want to make any sound, lest the owner will come and whack him and he would have to run back to the jungle. He reached the place where the bunch was hanging. "See, I've found my grape, my bunch of grapes, and I shall eat it, get all the energy, and you, I will not fear you. Be as scorching as you want," he said, and looked at the grapes. His mouth was watering. He badly wanted those grapes in his mouth now. So he just looked, and he turned and stretched his neck up like a giraffe. He couldn't reach the grapes. "Okay, I shall jump," is what he decided. He took a couple of 2 steps back, got ready, galloped and ran and jumped up. Couldn't reach. He tried 3, 4, 5 times. Lest he feels, I didn't try hard. Even after 5 times, he couldn't get it. So he looked at the grapes and said, "You are sour. I don't want you." And he walked away. That's where the story ends, isn't it? Our story begins now. As he was walking, were the grapes actually sour? What? Who is it? What kind of a question is that? He looked around. There was nobody other than that sun who was scorching hot. I'm asking you, are you also thirsty? You're also coughing. Yeah, what to do? Were the grapes really sour? Did you taste them? By now, the fox knew who it was. It was his inner voice, which keeps coming on and off and talks to him. I'm sure you all also have one which speaks to you, isn't it? Well, I don't know if it was sour or sweet, but I didn't get it, so I called it sour for my satisfaction. Well, is that right? Will you be okay with that? Who is to ask me? Oh, you are questioning me. You tell me, then what should I do? I tried, right? I appreciate that you tried, you didn't give up. You also appreciate yourself, I know that. But just answer this. Are you okay with calling the grapes sour? Okay, I am not okay with that. I know I should not blame him. I didn't get the grapes, but what should I do now? Answer. Silence. This inner voice of mine is like this. He'll come, he'll talk, blabber, go away. And then I have to think and think and think and think and think and won't know what to do. He mumbled, walked back to the grapes. Are you really sour? Like the grapes is going to answer back to him. What do I do now? You tell me, what do I do now? Do you have any suggestion? Okay, I got an idea. You know what? I listened to this auntie, Anaga auntie, telling a story about the thirsty crow. He also didn't get the water, but he used his brains and did something. I will also do something. Let me look around. And the fox looked around. You know what? There is a big block of concrete. I think it's concrete. It looks like stone to me. Or I don't know, because I heard a lot of people saying concrete, concrete, concrete. And he went there and he thought it's like very light. He tried to push with his two legs. He couldn't move it. With great might, he pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And it was right under the bunch of grapes now. It was quite a big block. He was happy. He got onto that and he stretched his neck again. He still couldn't reach it. He thought, okay, fine. Let me try jumping now. And he went back a few steps, came running and jumped onto the block and reached up, and he got one grape which was in the last of the bunch, and it was inside. You are sour. Now I have tasted. I know you are sour. The grapes are sour. And he walked away. And as he was walking, he thought, I think it's not ripe yet. Maybe next week it will be fine. Or maybe after a couple of weeks. And as he was walking, pachak, he heard a sound. And right in front of him, a bunch of grapes, which were all juicy and ripe, had fallen down. His happiness knew no bounds. He just picked it up and just gobbled up the whole thing and just walked back to the jungle, a satisfied fox that he was. And even looked at the sun and was happy with him. I don't know for what though. And said, meet you again tomorrow. Anyway, you're gonna set now. And he saw somewhere there in the horizon. And he just talked to his inner voice and said, thank you. And he had a beautiful sleep that night. And that, my dear friends, is the end of my version of Fox and the Grapes. Hope you all really liked it. If you do, please do share this with everyone you know so that they also enjoy this version of Fox and the Grapes. Thank you so much, and I'll meet you all again next Saturday. Namaskaram.